Okay. You ask me about the languages.
Well, first you start by just, my name is Toba.
My name is Toba Weiss, T-A-U-B-A. I'm a Holocaust survivor. I was born in Poland, Lask, L-A-S-K. In 1939, it was 12 o'clock, all of a sudden, I could hear the airplanes. But before the war, we were living next door to the synagogue. And I remember, as a little girl, I was 11 years old, the Jewish people went out for the synagogue for Shabbos, and I used to listen what they were talking. And they said, Mashiach's gonna come, Mashiach's gonna come. And then later I found out it was not Mashiach, it was Hitler came. So even Hitler came. So I used to ask my mother, I don't understand, who is Mashiach? He says, don't ask so many questions. Anyway, they started to bomb the town. They bombed the town. A lot of people went to the park and they hid in the ditches. And I was in the park and I could see the soldiers in the airplane were eating an apple and they were laughing and looking down the hills and the ditches. And all of a sudden I look around, was blood running. Anyway, it took a few minutes. Some died and some survived and went back to the town. It was exactly, my mother was cooking potatoes, 12 o'clock. This was, instead dinner, we was eating lunch. The dinner was the lunch. Anyway, then I was there too, and my father was a baker, and I had 8 brothers and sisters. I survived, and my brother survived, and my father survived. Anyway, and we had a bakery. And then, for a few months later, they made a ghetto. Let's say from one family house, they put in 4 or 5 families together. I was 2 years in last ghetto, and I had to go to work, by my uncle. His name was Moshe Pukac. He made uniforms for the Nazis. I remember I put in the sleeves there. After 2 years, everybody had to leave town. While we were in the ghetto, my father said to my mother, Sprinze was her name, let's go to Dorn. It's a little small village. Let's each child take a child and go wherever you want to go. We went there. Each one had a little yakko pack. At night, it was very cold. The kids started to cry. And my mother said to my father, his name was Noah, he should rest in peace, let's go home. Still have the house. So finally we went back. Didn't take long. The Germans came again and took the whole town. It was 3,500 in the ghetto. Then the Germans came, put us in a big church, and they didn't open the big doors. In the side was a normal small door, and they pushed in the people. There was 60 people, older people, that couldn't walk so good, so they took him in a truck, and they took him to the cemetery. Day before, they took out 10 or 15 boys, young boys, to make a big ditch, and they throw them in the hole in the ditch. I know exactly this what happened because a grandma for my girlfriend was there too, Rudo de Schweigen. The lady, when we came back to Poland a few years ago, the lady said a few days the ditch, the sand was shaking. They buried those 60 people, 99% they were still alive. From there, I was a vacation, right and left, left and right. So I had a sister 2 years older than me. She was beautiful. They made a right. My father was to the right. My mother and the rest of the kids went to the left. I found out my brother went to the right. I was not picked to the right. All of a sudden I decide I'm gonna run off if nobody sees me to my father. Because he was a baker, I figure I'm going to have bread from him. My cousin, Uncle Gavrit's son, ran over too, but they killed him while I was running. They killed him. I could hear the shot. From there, they took us 3 days in a big, big hole. There was a adobe hole, a little bit out of town. We were there night and day, 3 days, no food. After there, they took out a few people and we went to the Lodge Ghetto. The rest of them, trucks came, they put them in closed trucks. They put gas, they took him to Chelmno. A few days again before, they took 30 people from the young people to dig ditches in Chelmno. And they gassed them in the trucks, and they throw them in the ditch. And they put gas and they burned them in the ditch. When I went back to Poland with my son, we were 20 people after the war, a farmer came out and told us, Polish guy came out and told us what happened. So I picked a few bones from over there, brought it home, and put them at the cemetery. And in the Lodge Ghetto, from there, they took me to the Lodge Ghetto. The Lodge Ghetto, I was there 2 years. I had to walk every day. Was a bridge, it's called Lagovnicka Bridge. I worked in a straw resort. In the winter time, the straw was frozen and stiff. And some other girls used to bring water to put on the straw because it was stiff. I still have scars right here from the straw. We used to braces to make shoes for the soldiers for a front that should have warm in the winter time. And from there, after 2 years, my brother really saved my life. He was working in a old place where they sold cars, an iron place. His boss was Yachimovich. So they made a selection over there, and they took a few people away from there. And at night I went over the fence. It was summertime, there was bushes, and I hid in the bushes. After there was a selection, I went back to the camp. It's like ammunition things they had there. So I was there.
Do you remember who made the selection?
Yeah, the selection made Bebov.
That was the German officer?
Yeah, German officer. And a lot of German soldiers. The rest went on the wagons, went to Auschwitz. So after this, I went back I was in the ghetto, and then when they closed up this factory, they took us to Auschwitz. It's only an hour from Lodz to Auschwitz, but we were on the cattle cars, and the cattle car went back and forth, was very hot, and people died in the wagons.
Who were you with at that time?
At the time, my brother and my father. There was like 500 people. So people needed people to work in an ammunition factory. So we were a group like Schindler's List, a group 500. So we were in Auschwitz. From Auschwitz we went to, well, I forgot already. Not far, it's the other concentration camp. It's called Birkenau. Birkenau. So I was then Birkenau. From there, the 500 people that took to Stutthof. Stutthof was a camp like Auschwitz. It was near Poznań over there. There was a big water over there around, and we were in the barracks. I was in the barracks.
Did you have a job at that time, or did they assign you to a job?
No, they took us in the barracks. I was laying night and day on my knees. It was so close there. So over there every night, or in the daytime, the SS ladies came in and put cold water on us. 2 or 3 o'clock, they took us out to make an appel. I could see the stars, and it was dark, and the sky was at night. who could not go out, the SS ladies went into the barrack and killed those poor people, but they couldn't walk no more. They didn't care no more. And then in the morning, early, they took us out from the barracks, lined up to stay for the soup, for a soup. The soup was leaves and sand. So I tried to go out from the first in the line. So by the time the other people went still out, so I went again in the line. Somebody recognized me that I was there. So I got beat up very badly, but I didn't give it up. The soup was, if I find 2 pieces of potatoes, I tore up a piece of the clothes I had on in Iraq and tied this up and throw it over the fence. My father was there, my brother was there. And then I tried, the Obschaffiere with a big red nose came every morning and used to hit me, but I tried to clean up the sand to make it nice. So then I figured if they come with the kettles, with the soup, I could grab a little more soup to save my father's life over there. Stutthof. I don't remember how many months you were there. Stutthof. Then after Stutthof, the 500 people, Bivov, had a factory in Dresden. And we worked at the ammunition factory. I was working in the basement, cutting the wires. And one time, I was hiding in the wires. The wires were like 10 feet high. Because I was talking to a boy, we were boys and girls together, slept in the same floor, but I slept next to my father, my brother, and I was hiding there. So then I came out, and then soldiers, the German soldiers, wanted to come in and take out girls, to sleep with them. But I know I was not allowed to do that, so I was hiding. Then I told 2 days I was laying around with the wiring, and I started to get hungry. I went back. My father was worried why I was. I told him what happened. And then he told the other people, there was families there, other people what happened. They like to rape the girls, so they stopped work. Himovich was the Jewish boss, and then Beaver was the boss completely, the president for the whole factory. We were working for him. Then a few people stopped working completely, like a strike, not to bother the kids, the girls. So anyway, didn't took too long, and I had to carry 100 pounds, a little box, ammunition. It was not big, the box, maybe 2 feet by 2, and I couldn't lift, it was too heavy for me. The SS from Riga had a rifle, a 32, and he used to hit my back. Till today I suffer with my back. Anyway, after this, February the 12th, the Allies came and they bombed the factory. I remember I had run upstairs and the glass from the windows fly all over the house, and I got scars over there. So I was in this factory, and then a lot of people ran away, and my father and my brother, we were hiding in the basement again. Then my father told me where to go. There was houses already bombed, which house to go. So I went there, ran out there, went in this house. I was laying 3-4 days in the basement, and I was eating peels from potatoes. I were all black, and I could hear at night they called my name. But I was so weak and scared that I couldn't say, I'm here, I'm here. Finally, my brother again was looking for me, because he told me in case something happened, which house is bombed, I should go. Anyway, they found me. They found me. Before I went to this bombed house, my father took out, Oberschaffier took out my father every day to a bakery. The bakery, the owner was Mrs. Klein, the name. And she used to give my father something so he could bring me to the camp. Because the Obschaffier picked up my father and brought him back. And then, when the SS and the German soldiers were looking for survivors what had run away from this factory, they came into the bakery. And I remember when my father told me he was hiding in the toilet and he could hear, "Hast du Juden versteckt?" Juden versteckt means, did you hide some Jews? In the meantime, my father had some roll, and he says, before they catch me, I'm going to eat that roll. And then she made me and my brother and my father Polish papers. My father told me the name I should say so I could remember. My name was at the time Bronka Kędzierska, and my brother's name was Jan Bajdura, and my father's name was Józef Jalocha. Why I remember those names? Bronka Kędzierska was living there, was the janitor for our bakery. And one of the boys, Polish boys, used to take our horse on the pasture, Józef Jalocha, and my father's name was Jan Bajdura. So if you remember, I'm already 86 years old, and I thank God I still remember all those names. Mm-hmm. So then we went out from this bombed house. We were walking on the street. The police arrested us, my father, my brother, and me. They took us to a police station. Because at the time, I did not wear the concentration clothes, private clothes already, because at night I saw in our house outside was hanging clothes, so I borrowed a dress to change this dirty clothes what I had. They took us to the Polish office. So I could hear when the German talked one to each other, the police, and they said, Bronka, so I had already given him the name Bronka, said, she doesn't look Jewish. And I could hear the other guy says, how do you know she doesn't look Jewish? She doesn't have a big nose. Mm-hmm. She doesn't. I knew German before the war. My mother was born in a German colony. Anyway, a lady came from a town, it was called Wilsdorf. She had a few acres of land, a farm. The husband was already in the war, she was German, and she needed few people to work for her. So I remember, and at the time, they didn't know this is a brother or a sister. We had 3 different names. We were lucky. She picked me, she picked my brother and my father. There were 12 people. Some were from the Warsaw ghetto there too. It was 12 together. So they took those guys on the farm to put beans onto the ground. So they used to bring home a little beans in the pockets, and she picked me to cook for them, because I was still looking pretty good, because I worked in Dresden in the kitchen. I was lucky they took me to the kitchen, so I had a little more food. So they went to work, and she gave me stamps to go downtown and buy some butter, whatever I needed to cook for them. But she didn't notice I was cooking bean soup. And the bean soup I was cooking on needles from Christmas trees. Sometimes the fire went big and sometimes small. And I cooked the potatoes, and they came back and put it on a table in the soup. And one guy said in Polish, "Psiakrew cholera," he says, this, excuse me, it's like, God damn it, "Psiakrew cholera," Bronka is cooking like Jewish style. I cooked Jewish style. The soup was so good, I said, Bronka, Polish, that's one to each other, I understood. But one time my father was yelling at night, he had a dream, and he talked Yiddish, and one guy said, this must be Jewish guy, he talked Yiddish. So I said, you don't understand, he talked Italian, you don't understand. So they never knew that I'm Polish, that I'm Jewish, Because my brother separated, my father had a different name and I had a different name. Bronka Kędzierska, Józef Jalocha, and my father Jan Bajdure. So we were there for a few months on this farm. And then all of a sudden in 1945, we could hear the Katyusha went over that cottage. We didn't live in her house. Her house was a brick house, was across the street. It was a lot of trees. And her house was a little higher. And mine cottage was on the low. So my father says, let's at night on the stomach go through the street and go to her house, the Katyusha. And when he saw the Katyusha running, because we were out in the country and they wanted to take the town, Wilsdorf. And then everybody was hungry. The 12 people, there was a few German ladies there, girls there. And I saw potatoes at a German house. So I made a fire in the basement and I started to cook the. So all of a sudden it came out from the fire, the smoke, and one German, there was 6 tanks around this house. And one came down the basement, he says, who gives a signal here that you are here? The German, so, you know. And somebody pointed, I made the fire. So he took me out by the fence and he was ready to kill me and I saw the gun. By the time he started to work with the gun, I bent down and I threw sand in his face. In the meantime, when I threw the sand in his face, he couldn't see me no more, but the gun went off. And then I could hear, it came an order, Wilsdorf freilassen. This means the tanks should run away from there, because the Russians are close. And then I was liberated over there by the Russians. Then when I was liberated, everybody from the basement went up upstairs. So one soldier, or it was, I don't know, more than a soldier, he told me, don't say that you are Ivreka. This means I should not say this, I'm Jewish. And I said, why? Because what they do with the Jews, they kill him here. So then they separate us, the Russian. We didn't have nothing to show who we are. We didn't wear no more a concentration camp clothes, and we didn't have the numbers, bless you, because the last minute when we came to Auschwitz, everything went so fast that they did not give us numbers no more. No more numbers.
No tattoos.
No tattoos. So then I'm getting another war. My father's not here, my brother. Where should I go? Which side should I go home? This was in Germany. In Bayern. This is Saxon, Bayern. It's difference. Like New York people talk in San Francisco, there's a difference. So I start walking, and all of a sudden, after a day or two...
You were by yourself?
Yeah. But I didn't know which direction I'm walking. I didn't know where to go home. It's not home. You have to go to Poland. So all of a sudden, I met my father and my brother. They found each other. So we were together. And another... My brother had a girlfriend, she was there too. He met her. Her name was, I forgot, Rushka, not Rushka. I forgot already, she's in Canada. So anyway, my father went on farm. He took a wagon with 4 horses. And we were going every day. It took us a few weeks to go home. So every night we stopped in a barn. And at night, my father hid me in the barn and put hay on me because the Russian soldiers were looking for girls. And they had those stickers, and they say they're looking. So my father knew already Russian, and he could hear they're looking for chumedan. Chumedan, it's called, it's a suitcase. They said so, but it was not true. They're looking for girls. But they didn't find, I was lucky. They didn't, could have an iron stick and kill me too. So my father was afraid they should not. They raped, after the war, the Russian raped the girls. So I was lucky. And then it took us, in May the 7th, we were liberated. May the 7th, we came home June the 1st. 3 weeks on the road. 3 weeks we were on the road.
It was good your father knew what direction to go.
Yeah, sure, yeah. And every night we stopped in other houses, in German houses, they're empty. And in the basement we found some food, we were hungry. Everything in jars were there, I remember. And then he found, on the way, he found, it was in one place, a Polish farm, and he saw a girl over there. She looked like she is Jewish. And he asked her, Danka, Queen was, she married a guy, Queen. King? No. Queen. Danka, and my father took her on the wagon. He saved her life, because the Polish guy would not let her go. She's a beautiful girl. I think she was from Hungary, and she's in Israel, but she died. And finally we came home to Poland.
To your home?
To my home, Lask. So we had no home no more. From the bakery, they made a stable, the Germans, and then they took out all the walls, and the Polish ladies looked out from the window and said, God, this is slang word. It says Hitler had burned them all in, they're still living here. They came back. They were afraid they're gonna take. So some people they killed at night and was not saved. We were there not long. I married in Poland. I met my cousin, he came. And my father says, you're gonna marry Moshe. So I married Moshe. I liked him as a cousin. I married him. And then we decided to run away again from Poland, was not safe no more. So we went to Berlin. From Poland, I smuggled myself in a post office truck from Szczecin to Berlin. Berlin was taken by the Russians, the Americans, the Germans. So over there was like a camp from the UNRWA. So I was there a few weeks. And you could register wherever you want to go to America. So I said to myself, I would like to go to America, because I know before the war my mother had, the 18 kids in her house, 18, second more, 2 times marriage, mein Seide Nuchem, 9 kids. Buba Toba was the grandma, so she died, had 9, then he remarried with a girl, had another 9 kids. So I figure America, I did not went to Argentina, I figure Argentina's America too. So anyway, I registered to go to America. How come I picked San Francisco? I saw a film after the war, the Golden Gate Park, the ocean, and I'm a person, I like water and I like parks. I like parks. So I registered, I came to San Francisco, and they put me in. I had already 2 boys, they were born in Germany, Altenmark an der Als, Nuchem and Sam. They were born there, and I came to San Francisco, 51. In 53, my 3rd boy was born, Alan, and I didn't like Eddy Street. So what happened on Eddy Street in the hotel was a very bad neighborhood, if you know Eddy Street. My son lost the pacifier, the youngest. Norman, there was at the time too, and he lost the pacifier, and everybody was knocking on the door to keep him quiet. So I decided to get dressed, and I went to a store to get a pacifier. So first thing, I see a bar, come in, I didn't know what it is. Then I went into a drugstore, and I didn't know the name pacifier. So I showed him, I want, so he says, chased me out, you know. He chased me out. He didn't know what I want. He figured, you know, the oral things. Anyway, okay. So finally I went from one store to the other. I found a pacifier. I came back at 3 o'clock at night. And I said to my husband, you know what? This is no life here on Eddy Street. So many drunks, so many bars. I had an uncle in Petaluma, so we moved to Petaluma. Chicken farm. the Jewish committee helped me buy a chicken farm for $6,000, and I raised over that chicken. And then my other son was born. I took the bus from over there to go to the Mount Zion Hospital. I was living, it's not Petaluma, it's Hessel Road. It's 8 miles from Petaluma. I took the bus and I went to the hospital, Mount Zion. I got my son Alan. And then I said to my husband, I'm not going to live here in the country no more. My kid's going to get married, not with Jewish. There's not many Jewish. A lot of Jewish people came from the green or raised chicken. So I saved up $10,000. I want to go to the city. There's no communication where I used to live. No buses, no train, nothing. I had to hitchhike. I didn't have a car to the town to take him to Sunday school or Hebrew lessons. Then I moved to San Francisco. I wanted to rent a house first, but nobody wanted to rent me out because we're 3 kids. So I decided to buy that house. And I end up here. In 59, I came to San Francisco, and I like it till today. And then after 8 years living here, 10 years, I saw in Petaluma the farmers already, no more farmers. This is the biggest in America, the egg basket it's called. I have the book from Petaluma from the farmers. So I decided to buy this house and live here. There was no more Petaluma. One day my husband comes back from work. He asked my father, where is she? He said she moved to San Francisco. He liked to live there in the country. I didn't like it. So in the meantime, I brought down my father from Israel. I went to America. He went to Israel, and my brother went to Canada. So then I made papers for my father, and I made papers for my brother, so the whole family should be together. So I ended up in San Francisco, 130148. After being here a few years, I decided I like it over there. I see no more chicken houses. I'm going to buy an acre of land, and I'm going to build a house in the country. So instead of buy an expensive house here for $50,000, $60,000, I'd rather have another house there. So I went out there, bought an acre of land, and I built a house. I still have the house in Petaluma, which I go there 3 times a week, summertime, 4 times a week I'm there. So in the meantime, I bought 3 acres, one at each other, so I could have 3 sons, and each one's going to have a house there. Mm-hmm. And I made the street Weiss's Lane, and this is what I end up over there. And I love Petaluma. I love summertime, the roses, the grass, and go swimming over there. And that's all what I end up here.
Good story. Good. Can we back up a little bit? I just wanted to ask you again about when you were in your hometown.
Lask.
In Lask.
Lask.
You went to school there.
Before the war, I went to school.
Yes. And before the war, you went to school, and I wondered if you could tell me if at that time, before you were occupied by the Germans, did you notice anti-Semitism in your school?
Very much, yeah. My father, we had a bakery, so Saturday the store was closed. So at the time we had already 8 kids. So my father and mother went to sleep Saturday. This is the religious way. And he says, take the kids and go someplace. I took the kids. I went not through the town, in the back of the town, because it was not nice to go. Shabbos days would see where I go. Swimming was not allowed. So I went through fields. And then was a Polish girl. She was giving care of 8 or 9 or 6 cows, and she had a whip. Every time I went through the field, she whipped me, and this was hurting me very bad. The Polish girl whipped me. I still went.
She knew you were Jewish.
Yeah, so she whipped me. It was painful. I still went through, and I went swimming with the kids over there, which I meant allowed Saturday to swim, because we were living next to the synagogue. So one day I decided she whipped me. I'm not going to let it just go through. So she went every Sunday to a church. She was my size.
Your age?
Yeah, about 12. Not even 12. I think she was my age. Maybe she was 12, maybe 13. I don't know. She was not bigger than me. a little smaller maybe. So the side I was hiding under the fence in our backyard, the front backyard. When she went by, I grabbed her ear and I tore up the ear with the earring. I could have blood on my hand. So I was afraid to go home. My father's going to beat me, but I did. So I went to my grandfather across the street and I told him what happened. He used to hide me there so my father doesn't give me a licking, what I did to the girl. Yeah, and then in the school, there
What
was...
happened? What happened to the girl?
And now she didn't do nothing. No, she knows that's what she did to me. Not the first time. She beat me and the kids. Nothing happened to the girl. She's missing a piece of ear. So from
She didn't cry and go to the school and
I don't
say,
know what happened. I never saw her again.
That was fine.
I never saw her again.
Okay.
So then in the school, they used to call your name, you know, you Jew, because we went to one school, was an old school. We went then, they built a new school, the Polish kids and the Jewish kids together. And they used to beat us up in school. Even when we came home after the war, they killed us. They didn't want us back there. Poland was bad.
Well,
It was
you
very
were,
bad.
I assume, a minority at that time. There were
We were-
fewer Jews than
It
there
was
were Polish kids.
3,500 Jews, survived 60, but they were not in town. They were all over the 60. So, like I said, when I went over there after the war, I looked out, I said, Hitler killed them, it's not enough, there's still Jews around. So the reason is we had a bakery, the big bakery, a new building, like I have a block, and the German took it over, and now the Polish people took it over. They made, I think, 32 offices from the bakery. But my son is planning to go to Poland about this bakery. But I don't have any birth certificate. I could come in and says this bakery belonged to my father. I have nothing to prove. But I got a letter today, and this week I didn't pay attention. Was laying here. That's whoever had property to fill out some papers. First thing I have to call up Poland or to write. They should send me birth certificate. I was born at Piotr Koska.
Oh.
My father's name was Piotr Koska. So Norman wants me to go because he cannot talk Polish to them, you know, who I am. But this is not so quick everything to do. So at least I wanted to know. I had a lady working here for me when she went to Poland. So her sister wrote me the letter. She went to Poland. She was in Poland and went to the bakery to find out. So she said the government took it over, because before the Germans took it over. And the Polish people made like a cheesecake factory, a milk factory, something from there. But I was a few years ago, I was stupid. I should have gone into the Gemeinde. The Gemeinde is the city hall, and find out and take out, you know, birth certificate. We went in there. We went was maybe in my town of heaven. Now we were afraid. The Polish people were. We were afraid they could kill us at night. My brother wanted to send Norman and his daughter to Poland. I says no. I don't want they should go. They could kill him at night in the hotel. They came to take off home the Jewish property.
Please keep looking here.
They would go and say that Jews came back to take the property back. They could kill him, so I don't trust him. It was a good question you asked me. They were anti-Semite, terrible, they still.
And at that time, did your family belong to a synagogue?
No, we were, before the war?
Before the war?
Yeah, sure.
When you were young and with
yeah, we were next door to us was the synagogue.
And your extended family?
Yes, it's called the Shmederish, the synagogue. Shmederish.
Is it still there?
No, they took it
building?
apart. Oh, they made a fire department. A fire, yeah, we were a fire department. They took out all the walls and everything. And our bakery is still there, but not a bakery. It's like they're making over there, this what I told you, like cheesecake factory,
Yeah.
or a milk factory, something like this. And what I did, there was a beautiful shul over there, They took apart the shul and they take out the bricks and build the bakery more up higher. This is what that was there. But I didn't recognize not much everything. The bakery is there. The street, my street is Jeromskiego 14. Jeromskiego 14. Don't ask me how to spell, I have to write it down before.
So, but the building is still there.
The building is there, yeah. Yeah. And Norman was never in Israel, so I figure I'll go to Poland with him if my back lets me, and from there I go to Israel.
For a while.
But in the meantime, I lost 6 brothers and 6 brothers.
Can I
We were 10 kids.
So you were born in 1939.
No, I was not born. The war wasn't. I was born 1926.
Oh, okay.
The war was in 1939.
Okay. All right, so when the war got over, you were 18, 19, 26, 36, 46.
12 and 6, 18 years.
In
Yeah,
1945.
My brother, Gabriel, lives not far from here. He's 91 and a half. He remembers everything because of it. When he was 6 years older than me, he remembers more. Between 12 and 18 is a big difference.
Sure.
And he calls me, do you remember this? Do you remember this? He has to nobody talk no more.
So what was your position in the family with your brothers and sisters?
Okay, my position was to help in the bakery, to give care of the youngest
Oh,
kids.
no. So you were one of the oldest?
No.
Older?
Aaron, Gabriel, David, the 4th one. I was the 4th one.
Okay.
You have it?
You were 4th out of 8?
There
4th
was
of 8.
10, really was 10, 2 died. So 8, so the war was 8, so I survived with my brother and my
And your
father.
father. And your
Yeah.
mother.
My mother and the 6 kids went to Helmno. They were gassed and burned and covered up with sand.
Is it okay if I ask?
Yeah, but I want to get her to show us some of these pictures.
Oh, okay.
Okay, this was my husband. I was married 40 years, but I know him 60 years.
Oh, wait a minute.
Toba Weiss.
Okay, let's see some of the other pictures.
And the other one is,
Oh, it's all like this?
Yeah.
and this is my family, and I'm here.
Hold on, see if I could get a picture of that.
Oh,
Let's see, hold up the family picture.
this is the family picture. What do you want first?
Yeah, I want you to hold it.
This?
Yeah, I'm going to zoom in and get a picture of you in your lower right-hand corner, right?
Right
Yeah.
here. Right here.
Yeah, that's it.
Right here.
That's you at age what? Boy,
I don't
you're
know.
young.
I don't know, dear. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't know. This is my mother here as a baby.
Yeah, hold on. I want to photograph this.
This is me.
Okay, you can point to some of the other members of the family.
Okay.
But hold it down.
Yeah,
so I
I'm
can
gonna hold
see
it.
So I can see
Okay. This is my father. I was a baby.
Okay.
And this is my mother. And the boy's name is Nuchem. This is my mother's sister. And this one, my mother's sister, that took her to church. She had 2 beautiful children. She didn't want to give him up. They killed her. This is my mother's
Hold it a
sister.
little different, like this.
Okay.
Don't tilt it back so much. Okay. All right. You keep talking.
This is Mima Surcha. Surcha's the name. Had 5
Okay.
kids. This one is Romka, had 2 kids. And this is my mother's brothers.
Which one?
All of them.
Okay.
8, I think, is supposed to be here. I think it's 7. So.
Can you talk a
7.
little bit about this Jewish bulletin and tell me a little
about
bit
the
about
Nazi store. About the Nazi store. Yeah, you had here a small piece.
a little bit about what happened here with the German store.
Nazis. Okay.
And what was that?
This
What
is
year
my
was that?
husband. He died a day
1840.
before he died. A day later he died. This was, I cannot see without, oh, here the date. August.
Yeah, it's August 10th,
10th.
1984. Can you tell me a little bit about?
We destroyed the Nazi store, just like in Chicago.
Yeah, but what? Okay, I guess that's it. But they had a Nazi store here,
Yeah. I came home from the country.
and you broke the window.
Yeah. Friday evening.
Okay.
Så jag var Erev Paisa.
Good for you.
Yeah, you broke the window. I called a few people
Yeah,
and they
hold
came.
that like it is. I just want to get that headline. Okay.
And my husband and my son were arrested.
Yeah, you could talk a little bit about that.
Okay. The Nazis, I came back from Petaluma, from the country. My daughter-in-law told me there's a Nazi store.
Yeah, where was it located?
Taraville, 46, not far from here. On Taraville, 46 in the Sunset.
Okay.
And there was the rental store for a bookstore. The owner's name was Nathan Green. He didn't know there's going to be a Nazi store. When I saw that swastika, I came home, and me and my husband were like tourists. We were so mad. So I called a few people to come over there, if they want to come. And one lady I called up, I need a brush. She lived there in the corner to paint over this. She says, no, I'm not going to give you the brush. It's a new brush. So I decided to go over there. And my husband to put on some steel-toe shoes. When we broke the store, and over there, Taraville goes a car over there. People come down and come up like the Enjuda. So the people came out. It was a lot of people. So when the Nazi guy came out, my husband kicked him. The police started to come. When the police came, it was start already be dark with the lights, and this remind me like Auschwitz. When I came to Auschwitz, this remind me like Auschwitz. And I was hysterical. So when the police came, other people showed, this is the guy who did it, and this is the guy that was already across the street. Across the street is a Jewish synagogue. They arrested my husband with the car. When I saw they arrested my son, I started to be hysterical. To me, it looked like Auschwitz. Oh. The police, and they took my son with the Nazi in the back of the car. I couldn't stop. I was very hysterical. So my husband went there and kicked the guy, and they arrested him too. So Moshe went to the jail. So at the time, a lot of people came here. And I was lucky. I had some money hide away, a few $100. We bailed him out the next day. And he went to Petaluma. He was afraid to be here, but I was here. This house was full with reporters. The house never closed here for a few days. Lawyers from all over called up. They want to help. One lawyer here called up, a very important lawyer. I think I forgot his name right now. He wanted to help. Everybody wanted to help. The next day, a friend came, took him out. Menil Gerbert with his son, with his wife. They bailed him out. I gave him the money. And he came home, but he went away from here. He didn't want to stay in the house, my husband. So he got all bruised up from the chains what they put on the police. And one policeman that told the one was an anti-Semit, was Brookholder was his name. Brookholder, I think. So from there on, but no rabbis came here. The only thing came, the mayor came here to the house. And from there on, they start to make a Holocaust library. The Jewish rabbis start to open the eyes, what goes on the news night and day. So we decide to make a library to show that this is a real story, the Nazi.
How long was that Nazi store open?
Not too long. No, I went to Petaluma. I don't know, went up maybe 4, 5, 8 days, maybe. I don't know. Maybe 10 days, maybe 5 days. I don't recall. But I know we destroyed the Nazi store.
Good.
And this was the end of it. But before the Nazi store was a camping camp to the city hall here with a full of Nazis here. And I had a store on Mission Street, and when I saw the camper and he was talking, the Nazi, so I told my husband, we went with a pickup he had. He didn't had a chance to stop the pickup, I jumped on the pickup. I had a purse with me, and I broke the window at the Nazi camp. And there's a law, once the riot is disturbed, they have to pack up everything. And I broke the camp, and they had guns over there too. And Tarreville had guns too, but I would do it again the same. So the whole crowd used to, so there was like a rope not to go around there, but I opened the rope, lifted up, the police chased me, and I went over and I disturbed the guy who was non-Bush, what is his name, he died. It's here in the paper someplace, I'll show it to you. And that destroyed, and the whole crowd was yelling, let her go, not to be arrested. And one Italian man got a heart attack from it. He died on this thing. This was the first time when I saw that. I have to look for this paper.
Okay. June, I have about 7 more minutes. So if you have any questions for her.
Okay, tell me the questions.
You got 7, 8 minutes.
Okay.
What are you looking for?
The Nazi store, the other one. But I don't have it. I had it someplace. I don't have it. And this is... okay. This uniform I have still. And this is the gas what I put in Auschwitz. I gas the people, see? And this is...
where did you get this stuff?
I went to Poland. This I
you
still
got this
have.
in Poland?
Yeah, and this is still... This is Auschwitz.
Wow.
This is Birkenau. I picked the stones, see? Pick the stones. What is behind it?
Let's see what... oh, wow.
The crematoriums.
Yeah.
And there are some bones from the men's bones that couldn't make ashes.
I got this thing running. Let's see what...
And this star, you know that what we were wearing.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Was that?
Is
that
that the one that you were... Is that
Well,
the
yeah.
actual star?
Not actual, no, but this
No,
is
but
the
you
star.
were wearing one like this.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hold this one. Let's see. Hold this one up.
Okay, you there, here.
Yeah, like that.
Like that.
Yeah.
See how nice I am? I do whatever you tell me. This is the star. So in the ghetto...
Hold it still. I'm going to go real close. And that's what you had to wear.
Yeah. So
on your front and
on the
your back.
Yeah, and the one side. So in the ghetto, we ran out of potatoes. So every Thursday was like a flea market. I went through the gates, and I carried 25 pounds of potatoes. I went out from the ghetto. I smuggled myself out, and the potatoes 25 pounds, and I was carrying them with a sack like this, so to cover this. So a Jewish policeman was chasing me, and he came close to me, and I grabbed the sack with the potato, and I swung him, and he fell down, and I ran away.
Oh my God.
I remember the name even from him.
You're a tough young girl.
I was like a tomboy, yeah. Yeah. But he wanted to show off that he, you know. Okay, this is the bones from men.
Yeah,
See,
hold it up.
This is the bones. They're tough. The women's bones are wicked, so they made ashes. Fertilizer.
Wow. Let's see whatever pictures we can put up in front of the camera.
And this coat I still have. This one. Ashak. This is very important. I have it upstairs. And this is the gas, what I gas the people.
They sure used a lot of cans.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Sorry, June, I'm not leaving yet.
And this is, I turned around the grass when I was in Birkenau to find bones. You could see white pieces, bones from people are there.
Hold it.
Bones from people. And I brought home some.
Hold it.
What did you do with them?
I buried them next to my husband, the cemetery.
So you told me about that picture. Or did you? You did.
I think so. And this is my mother when she was a girl. My mother, okay. This is, my mother
Want me
had,
to see it?
my mother had
Oh,
18.
that's good.
So this is half of them, see? They were good looking. They were not married here. Not.
That's your mother on the left.
My mother is here.
Let's see, hold it. Hold it up so I could see it.
This is my mother here.
Oh, let's see.
To the right.
You good looking lady.
Yeah, she was good looking. She had 10 kids.
Hold it there and just don't move it. Spay, I want to zoom in on it. See if I can zoom in on it. That is your mother.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I got
The
it.
right side.
Okay. I got it. 56 minutes we're into this. We've got a couple minutes more. I think you did a wonderful job.
Just the mask I didn't make.
Just the what?
Well, I did it.
So you
but
had a couple close calls.
This I take to schools. But I
What
would.
else you got?
Okay,
Here's
this,
an essay.
yeah, this is my husband.
Oh, yeah, it'd be nice to say something about the scholarship for the essay. So is this still going on?
Yeah, yeah.
Can you hold this up?
Every
right
year.
there.
Yeah.
Hold it up so I can
More
get it.
like this is important.
Okay, hold that. Okay, tell me a little bit about what you are holding.
I'm holding here the name for my husband, essay contest, and he left this too bad Norman shouldn't give you a tape. He's singing songs from the concentration camp, and in his name they give scholarships. In his name, scholarships for the colleges.
Okay, I think that we're pretty much winding up. I think you could come back in a little while.
Anything else you can say?
So she sleeps at night good. Anything I say, well, I appreciate you came, and I'm so sorry that you cannot make the mask because my face is still a little. Okay, let us read. Okay, now hold it. If I read this, here's my glass, I could read this.
Wait a minute. Hey, hold on. Here's what I'd like you to do. Be next to her when you're reading this.
Okay.
Real close. Get real close to her. I don't know if you can sit in this chair. I have about 2 minutes left on the
Okay.
film. The video. Sit next to her
Okay.
and read that. I might get both of you. And I'll tell you when.
It's okay. Okay.
Don't do anything yet.
Yes, start. Okay.
Hi Sam, it's June. We haven't forgotten. We're just running into a little snag, and we're going to be a little. Hang on one second. No, I'll call you right back, Sam. Bye. Hello. Yeah. You do. Wait, just let me check. Tape head. I'm so excited. I have to repeat this. Tape head cleaner, 60-minute LP 90, whatever that you got it.
So that successive generations would learn the lessons of this tragic period of history. Mr. Weiss and his son Alan led the protests against a Nazi bookstore, which opened in San Francisco in 1978.